Hi guys, Lemmy here. Welcome back to another art video. Today we are completing our second theme for the YouTube Artist Collective, which is a group on Facebook that was originally started by Sakura, Bailey, Zyra, and myself. And in this theme, number 2, we have added Sluggy, I believe, as a guest, art by Karen E. Haley, and Jellybee. I believe that's everybody that we have now. And our second theme that we are working on is mythical creatures and folklore. And this was voted on by you guys. So we had a little poll on Facebook and everyone got to vote on what they wanted to see us complete. So that's what won. And actually, I was really happy that this theme won because I immediately had an idea of what I wanted to do. And it's something that I've always wanted to draw, but I never got around to drawing it. So it was sort of like now I put time aside to do what I've wanted to do for a long time. And that was, I wanted to create a picture of a siren. Now, when you go and you Google siren and you look at pictures on the internet, you'll see that like half the pictures are mermaids. And I don't know why everyone thinks a siren is a mermaid, but it's not. Like, I never saw a story where a siren was a mermaid. Now, if there is one, like, can you tell me what the story is? Because I totally missed it. I got the idea of a siren from the Odyssey. So that's the book with Odysseus, and he's like on his ship, and then he tells all these sailors on the ship like, oh yeah, we're by these rocks and there's these sirens, which are like bird women with like pretty faces or something, but bird bodies, and they're grotesque or something. And he's like, oh yeah, so I heard that if you hear them sing, you go nuts. So like they put wax or something in their ears, all the workers did. But Odysseus is like, I'm a jerk, I kind of want to know what it sounds like, because if it sounds that good, that's gonna make me crazy. Like, I want to hear it. So they're like, okay, boss, we'll just tie you to the mast. And, yeah. So they tie him to the mast, and then they come across the siren. She's singing, and he's going, like, apeshit crazy. And he's trying to, like, break free from the mast. And, like, I always like the idea that a bunch of sailors crashed their ships because of the sirens. And I never thought of them as like being an evil creature or anything, but I wanted to kind of like go with the idea of like a really pretty face like from Odysseus, but also kind of like a grotesque body, but like kind of not. Like I made the fingers really long and like talony and creepy, and I didn't have perfect skin. I just wanted to add some like feather texture on her chest and her thighs and stuff. So like while she is pretty in like the face and she has long hair and like I guess for the most part she has a nice body, except for I guess her creepy talons and bird feathers attached to her, but for the most part she's like really pretty, but she also has like these weird, disgusting, kind of creepy bird things going on and like wings. So that was my inspiration for this picture. I decided I wanted to put a crashed kind of boat in the background and stick with the jagged rock theme and like the small channel and how they had to go through that to get past, and the siren was there. So now my whole story of Odysseus or like the Odyssey could be totally wrong, but that is like the only thing I remember from it from my childhood, and I really liked it. So like don't correct me, because that's my memory and I'm sticking to it because I like it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure my description of what happened was kind of accurate and whatever. So I wanted to also make sure I have like a little cove, and I wanted nice, sparkly, pretty water, and I wanted there to be like a sunny day outside and everything, and then yeah, so that was kind of like the idea in my brain for the picture. Now, when I actually started sketching, I spent a really long time on the sketch because I wanted to get the hands exactly how I wanted them to. I wanted the hair to be really detailed and flowy down to the bottom, and I wanted to have lots of like smaller pieces of hair, not like a big chunk of hair, but like lots of smaller strands going places, and lots of detail with the feathering and the wings. So I spent a really long time drawing out the character and kind of putting in a background and figuring out what I wanted to do. So after that step, I took the sketch to the light box and I put a piece of Bristol paper on top of the sketch, and I used 2 Prismacolor Verithin pencils to do the lining. So I used dark umber and dark brown, I believe the 2 colors were. And the siren is close to us, so I used the dark umber for that, and farther away I wanted to be a little bit lighter, so I used the dark brown. So once I was finished with the line art, then I got into the coloring, and I wanted to use the colored pencils to kind of make it more like a storybook illustration, and not have all those harsh lines that kind of, it reminds me almost of like cell shaded digital art. Like when you see a cartoon, you see those thick black lines, and I didn't want that. I wanted more of a storybook feel. So when we got into the coloring, the first thing that I did was I picked a bunch of desaturated pale colors, and I wanted to figure out where my light sources were going to be. I knew that I wanted the cove to kind of be in shadow where the boats were crashed, and I wanted where the ship was coming from behind the cove to be in light. But I also wanted the siren to kind of partially be in shadow, or at least not be crazy, like bright, like she's in the sun. So I did a lot of just figuring out where I was putting stuff and laying down, I guess, flat colors. Well, they weren't really flat because I did, some parts were a little bit lighter and some parts were like had more color in them, but it was just one color, and I did basic shadowing in where I was putting things. Then I went in and I added all the other colors that I wanted. I knew that I wanted the siren to have brown hair, and I wanted her to have brown and white wings, like just kind of like an average bird. I didn't want her to look special like a toucan or something. I knew I wanted her to just look like an average Joe bird, and I didn't want her to look like anything special in the bird category, but I wanted her to have a pretty face, and I feel like her face looks like Ursula as a person from Disney's The Little Mermaid. Like, when I was done, I was like, hey, she kind of looks like Ursula. It's kind of weird, but yeah. And I also gave her red lipstick. I mean, probably a bird in the middle of nowhere wouldn't have lipstick, but I was like, maybe she just likes to bite her lips a lot, and or maybe they're bleeding. I don't know. Maybe she has sunburn on her lips. I don't know. But I gave her red lips to add a pop of color in there. And I also added some desaturated blues to her eyes so that they weren't like really blue, like sea blue or sky blue. They were just kind of like a pale blue. My phone. So that's kind of like where I was going with this. And then to add some detailing at the very end, I used a white Sakura jelly roll, and I was all done. And well, I did kind of go back with the colored pencil at the very end to kind of darken some parts and maybe add a little bit more definition to other parts. So I hope that you guys like this picture, because I really do. And with that being said, it is for sale. Oh my gosh. And if it doesn't sell, once again, I'll be very happy because I like the picture that I made. And I feel like for every picture I make for this collective, it's going to be one of those things where I make something that I know I really like. So that way, like, if I don't sell it, I have something I really like. And if I think I really like it, then maybe you guys will really like it. I don't know. That's just kind of where I'm going with this. So, with that being said, the YouTube Artist Collective on Facebook is no longer doing auctions because last time we had auctions, it really didn't go well. And I think I'm the only person who didn't sell their piece. And it wasn't like me who was upset or frustrated. It was like other people who got bids and people bought it now, but they didn't actually buy it. And then the piece had to go back on the market. And I was like, oh, I think that's really frustrating. I wouldn't want to bother with that. So we all decided to avoid everyone being agitated and whatever, that we're just going to open up our own individual stores and sell our originals in our stores. That way people commit to buying what they say they're going to buy. And if they don't have the money, they can't buy it. So no problems there. So, with that being said, I will have a link to the Facebook Collective if you want to vote on future themes. I will also have a link to the Facebook Collective page so that you can see what other people uploaded for the same challenge, Mythical Creatures and Folklore. And I will have a link to my Store Envy, because I guess that's the platform I chose to go with. And my Store Envy will have my pieces from Theme 1 and Theme 2. And probably Theme 3 and Theme 4 and Theme 5, and they'll probably all be hanging out on there, and I'll be like, they're all mine, I love them like my children, and I'll just keep them all, and that's totally cool with me. So, thanks for watching. I hope that you liked this video, and I also hope that you maybe found some things that I talked about helpful in my art process, because I am trying to make these videos more about the art process and the steps that I take, and less just talking about random things, but more talking about how I did what I did to make what I did. I hope that makes sense. And I'll talk to you guys next week for another art video. Take care. Bye, guys.